Hi, Deborah. My name's Rebecca Carter-Reaves, and I just wanted to take a moment to tell you that I thought that your post was very meaningful and covered a lot of things in detail. Found a great amount of interest in the 2020 rules and regulations for North Carolina. I found that to be very different from Georgia's rules and regulations, much more detailed. In the state of Georgia, it really does not address directly informed consent. Moreover, it just talks about what unprofessional behavior is as it relates to the things that are discussed in the Code of Ethics definition of informed consent. That being said, I did have one thing that I just kind of wanted to elaborate on a little bit. You had talked a little bit about self-disclosure, unintentional self-disclosure with social media, and I believe, certainly we have to be very careful about how and when we use social media, allowing our clients to have access to social media that we are affiliated with and that kind of thing. But as a whole, I also just read some articles about self-disclosure in the therapeutic relationship because I wasn't real clear if you were talking about self-disclosure as a whole or just in the realm of social media and unintentional self-disclosure. So I had read an article, Therapist Self-Disclosure in the Therapeutic Relationship, and it's a study from the client perspective. And they just bring out a lot of really interesting points about self-disclosure. They talked about the different effects, both positive and negative. And I found some of those interesting because there is a controversy about whether or not counselors should self-disclose or should be self-concealing. In this particular study, they talked about light disclosure, especially early on in the therapeutic relationship, helping to build rapport, and also the fact that it helps to influence the power relationship between the client and the therapist. It allows the client to see that their therapist is human. Kind of does away with that perfect role. It also, later in the relationship, self-disclosure, if it's in relationship to what the client's going through, can also help the client to see that their therapist is in tune with their particular situation. The article also discusses some areas where self-disclosure, can have some negative impacts. But one statement that I found interesting, regardless of whether it's positive or negative, self-disclosure is relevant and it does impact the overall role of the relationship. So I just wanted to kind of add to that. And that article is from Audit and Everall 2010 in the British Journal of Guidance and Counseling. Thank you and have a good day.